Hello and welcome to the Fishing Guide Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Weekman. I tell you what, we have some returners coming in. We're pretty fortunate to have them. Jacob and Carter, they're back with the University of Arkansas bass team. And so they're gonna tell us, kind of update us on what's happening, because you guys have had all summer to, I don't know, what have you been doing all summer? Tell us.
Fishing and working pretty much. I actually completed an internship with Pure Fishing out of South Carolina, so that was great. Awesome learning experience working with them, getting to work for a major manufacturer in the industry. So it was a great time doing that, and now we're back, ready to get back at it this school year.
There you go. And Carter, what have you been up to?
I've been up here fishing tournaments. You know, our Texas tournament trail went well into the summer this past summer, so we were traveling around for that.
And you went fishing with me.
I did go fishing with you.
We did. We pegged off a couple of them there. So that was a good time. So not always fun to take people out fishing that get to be on the show. So let's start with, let's just start. Well, tell them one more thing. You guys are both seniors. Is that right?
It is.
Yes, sir.
So what happens if you're part of the fishing team, what happens now? Next year, let's say you're all done then, huh? Do you move on? Is that it? No more eligibility, right?
Sadly, I think so. I mean, if you qualify for the national championship, it's not usually till the next September, so you can still fish that.
Right.
But on a collegiate standpoint, if you're not enrolled at university, you're not able to fish anymore.
Okay.
Which stinks. But I'll still be fishing. I'll still be doing local tournaments, and I probably won't move on to the Opens. I'll probably put the pro dream aside and just try and work in the industry.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
so
sir.
with Pure Fishing or some other company.
Pure Fishing or some local ones, maybe Pradco or Rather Outdoors, just kind of wherever my options take me.
That's right. And so, Carter, it'll be your last year, too. What are you going to move on to?
You know, because of COVID, we actually get fifth-year eligibility.
That is true.
So if grad school is in my future, I get one more year. So this might not be it. But other than that, that'll probably be it for a while. You know.
What's your degree going to be in?
Marketing.
Oh, marketing. There you go. All right. So let's go right to it. Scheduling. So what does your schedule look like this year? Is it a tough one? You get to come back to Beaver.
It is. I mean, it's a good schedule. It's not all out yet. Our whole fall schedule is out, so that's more of our local tournaments. We'll be fishing Arkansas Collegiate Series, so we'll be going to Lake Millwood, Lake DeGray, Lake Norfolk, and Bull Shoals. With those, we'll be going down to Dardanelle in October for the AFTCO Collegiate Open. That's always a really big, very tough tournament against some very good fishermen around the country.
Right.
And then Carter will be doing the Collegiate Bass Trail of Texas as well.
Oh, in Texas.
Yeah, it doesn't really open until the spring, but there's one fall tournament on Possum Kingdom. Way down there, so we're looking forward to that. And then in the spring, we go to Sam Rayburn, Palestine, Lake of the Pines, Lake Caddo, Texoma, all the big ones.
Geez, I need to go back to school so I can just fish in those places.
That's pretty incredible.
That's pretty good places to fish. Tell them real quick about the situations. How does the boat thing go? So people that are thinking about joining the team, explain to them a little bit about how that works.
That's definitely, one of the tougher parts of trying to run the club. It's the fact that we're not going to be able to have a boat for everyone that wants to be able to fish a tournament. It just logistically doesn't work out like that, sadly. Now, I mean, we try and get everyone into a boat for as many tournaments as we can, whether that's, people kind of switching up partners throughout circuits or, fishing a smaller tournament with someone else you might not usually fish with. That's something we're still trying to work on, and it's not easy. But I think this year it seems like we have a lot more boats coming in than we do kind of anglers, or compared to the past few years.
Right.
So hopefully with that, we'll be able to get more guys on the water. And the big problem also is boat storage. There's nowhere to keep the boat at the university, sadly. So a lot of people, they might have a boat in Arkansas or in Missouri, but they have to drive home 2 hours to go get it every time we want to fish.
Right.
So, I mean, that's we're really hoping to find some sort of storage up here, whether it's through a local sponsor or alumni that even has property and is willing to let us park their boats out there, covered, uncovered. We're just trying to figure something out.
Right. How many members do you have this year, Carter?
So we have about 30 guys returning from last year.
Wow.
And we're still getting new members this year, but it looks to be we're going to be from 40 to 50 guys, depending on how many really go through with it.
And you just had they had open for the clubs to invite people and go through, didn't you? Mm-hmm. So did you get some new members there when we were doing?
We did, that? Yeah. We had. We actually haven't officially they're not officially members yet. We haven't had our informational meeting yet. That'll be next Tuesday. But we've had a lot of really good interest. I mean, guys coming up and they have boats already, planning on bringing them up here.
Right.
They already follow all of our socials. They've already heard about the team. And they just came out to introduce themselves, and they're super interested. We probably had 10 or 15 of those guys come up to us, and then 10, 15 more people who were still very interested in the club. So
yeah, that's good. So you have the schedule laid out. Who are your sponsors for this year? You have some returning sponsors.
We do.
Start with them.
We do. So our returners, we'll start with Forest Grant Incorporated. They're our title sponsor. Uh-huh. They do a lot for us. They're out of Fort Smith. They're a construction company.
Okay.
Castle Hills Mortgage. They're out of Dallas. They're a mortgage company. They're awesome for us. They do a lot with us. IMS Relocation. They're out of Dallas. Let's see, who else?
You have to read his shirt.
Yeah, I don't want to forget any of them. Any of our great sponsors. Pradco Lures, they've been on board. We actually just re-signed with them now for our third year, I think.
Right.
They're great for us. They help us out with all their bait lines, Booyah, Yum, War Eagle, Smithwick, Norman Lures, Bandit Lures. So having them on board's huge. 13 Fishing as well.
Wow.
Rods, reels, everything included with them. Let's see. P-Line.
Yeah.
Yep, P-Line's huge. They do a lot. That's very nice, being able to get bulk orders of line. Where line is not the cheapest thing in the world to buy, so having someone help us out with that is huge. Let's see, turn you around. Navigation Financial Group, they're out of Dallas as well. They do some stuff for us financially. And Woo Tungsten and Spear Point Hooks, we added on board last year.
Oh, good.
So this year we're hoping to add some more sponsors on board. We're kind of starting up not applications, but we're starting to look for new ones right now. Carter could probably touch on that a little bit. Yeah, he's our sponsor chair.
We've been reaching out to different companies over the summer through, connections, through other people on the team. Maybe we just have a contact through companies or just reaching out. We haven't really decided anything with any companies yet. The university prefers us to renew at the beginning of each year, so that'll be in January before we really have to decide or make any moves.
I gotcha. So if they wanted to become a sponsor, they're going to contact you or just anyone on the team? How's that going?
If you know anyone on the team, contact them. They'll reach out to us, or you could email us at bassteam@uark.edu.
Uh-huh.
That's our email. You can also look us up online. We have a team website on there through the university.
Right.
They're also starting up this new thing this year. It seems like it's kind of like a GoFundMe for the University of Arkansas Club Sports.
Right.
So we'll have our own page set up on that, hopefully come October, and we'll be posting all about that. And you can go and donate to our team if you'd be willing to. Other than that, we'll probably start finalizing sponsors come October, November for next season, and we'd love to have everyone on board.
And you're the chair of that, huh?
Yes, sir. So I monitor the emails. If people reach out on the social, I'm the one who's responding and setting up the meetings or reaching back out to see what they can do for us and vice versa.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the fishing part, because that's the most exciting part. Now we got all that other stuff in. So both of you are Texas boys, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? So I say that with as much respect as I can, because fishing in Texas is awesome. Sam Rayburn's hot. You got Toledo Bend on the border, and you have all those places in between that are just loaded with fish. And I mean, that doesn't even start with Fork. But what's your favorite place? Which pond is your favorite pond, Jacob?
I would say Sam Rayburn. I grew up live in Houston, so only 2.5 hours from Rayburn, and I mean we'd go out there all the time just for fun fishing, and I grew up loving that place. Done pretty well in some tournaments out there in high school. Right. Honestly, I haven't been back since I've been in college. I've been to Toledo a few times fishing some tournaments down there through the university. But other than that, really likes Lake Somerville. It's kind of a smaller lake, not too known. It's outside of College Station. I've caught my PB there, 8.2 pounds. So I've kind of have a connection to that lake, heartfelt connection to that lake, and I love it out there. It's a deep fishery, brush piles, points, anything, just Texas fishing, deep crinking.
Does it have some grass or not?
Somerville does not really have too much grass.
No. Yep. Carter's shaking his head like
it does not.
It's like
really
Beaver
have
Lake.
Grass.
The only grass on Beaver Lake is when the lake floods and someone's house is the grass. That's the only time. So
it's a lot dirtier than Beaver Lake too.
Oh, it is. So you can power fish.
Yep, it's nasty. It's murky water, 10-inch worms, 10 XDs.
Sounds like you like Lake Darnell too in Arkansas.
No,
really.
We've just that lake's always had our team's number for some reason. We always fish a really big tournament out there every year, the AFTCO Open, and just seems like we'll always do good in practice. Just something always turns around the way the river will either die, current will die, or current will speed up, and it's just we always get screwed up out there for some reason. But
well, which one's your best one? If Darnell is the one you have some trouble with
in Arkansas?
One? Yeah, in Arkansas.
We probably have our best
overall,
luck on
your U of A team. Which one have you done the best? Over your 4 years.
Or my 4 years.
Or 3 years.
I'd say, anytime any time we have a tournament come to Beaver, we finish well. It's our home lake. Okay. State championship. We had first, second, third place.
I thought we had fourth too.
Probably fourth.
Wow.
So, we kind of swept the board during the state championship. Other than that, we went to Norfolk last year. Had one team do pretty decent. But in my 4 years, I'd say our best lake, our best success. We've had a lot of success down in Texas. And I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of a lot of our anglers coming from down there.
Right.
Rayburn, we've done, or Toledo, my freshman year, we had 3 teams finish top 25.
Wow.
So that was a big tournament for us.
And how many teams are showing up for these events?
Usually 6 or 7, sometimes 8, depending on just who's all available that weekend. And
So how many teams overall?
Like
10?
Through all the colleges, almost every tournament we fish has 250 boats in it.
250 boats. Wow. That's a bunch.
Yep.
So which one's your favorite lake, Carter?
Well, it happens to be Rayburn and Toledo.
Oh, really?
I grew up family with a house on Toledo Bend. Grew up in that area, and Sam Rayburn's always just been good to me, except one time. So it's kind of hard to talk bad about a lake that's treated you so well, and we've been in the money, and that's really every time we go back there, we know that we can have them figured out if we want to. So we'd love to go back there, and really I want to say compete like we don't compete elsewhere, but that's where we're really in our powerhouse.
I gotcha. So tell them. So you said about winning money. How does that work? So let's say you finish in they pay down so many places, and how do they do that in college?
So the way it works is there are different tournaments depending on the trail, and so some tournaments have 80 boats. Some have, I think the biggest one we fished this year in Texas only had 100. But usually there's between.
That's with the CBTT, the Collegiate Bass Trail, right?
Yeah. And so it just varies, and so the more people that compete, the more they pay out, obviously. And that also has to go with how many spots they go down. So if there's 100 people, they might go down 12 spots. But if there's only 50, they're only going to go down like maybe 8.
Right.
So, it just varies per tournament.
And it's money, not scholarship money, or how's that work?
So it is cash. That is kind of another hard part of dealing with, the university side and the club side.
Right.
Usually, the university will offer for us to pay the entry fee, but usually we decline that, and we use the university money to pay for gas and lodging. So that way, if the angler pays his own entry fee, they get to keep the money.
I gotcha.
And so it helps. It's good for our members, because although the university helps us out and our great sponsors help us out with going to these tournaments, we still do pay for some of it out of pocket. And so for some of the guys to be able to, get some of that money back if they finish well, it's huge.
Right.
And then some tournaments don't even do payback though, like college Bassmaster, like Bassmaster Collegiate Series. They don't have payback. It's just I don't even know if they have prizes. I think it's just awards, trophies, and qualification for the natties.
I gotcha. So there's always a need for funds if you see it possible to be a sponsor. So you want to make sure you check that out. So what else can you tell me about collegiate fishing? You've done it for a long time. Do you feel like you're like, sometimes people are in bass fishing, they really don't have an old, for the old guys or female anglers, there's no division for that. But you guys are kind of like seniors. You probably seen everything. What's the biggest mistake? I'll let you each answer. What's the biggest mistake a freshman college angler makes in his first tournament?
Think about this one.
There's got to be some.
There's lots of them.
Equipment failure.
Equipment failure.
Is definitely, I can think, kind of calling out my fishing partner right now, but we kind of definitely thinking of a moment that we're.
Yeah.
Did it cost you a big fish?
A lot of it. Well, did it cost you all a big fish?
Did it cost you a big fish? Did it cost you a limit?
No, but it definitely. We spent less time fishing, that's for sure.
Right.
A big thing with the incoming freshmen is, it's a lot of like boat mechanic stuff. That's usually where people get hurt because they'll be running their boats hard for 3 days in practice.
Right.
Get to their first tournament day. They've probably been running really hard in practice if it's their first tournament ever collegiately. And something breaks down the boat, or they didn't have oil, or they didn't have this bolt, this nut. That's where where I see a lot of mistakes. Other than that, just retie your line or respool your line.
Right.
Always have fresh line on your rods and reels. I think that's another big thing.
Would you say P line? Just sliding it out.
Let's say always have some fresh P line on your spools.
There you
always. I think having frayed line, old dried up fluorocarbon on your reels is not beneficial if you're out there fishing deep or.
You sound like it's from experience. You might have lost a big fish, or a limit of fish.
Maybe just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
There you go.
Dead batteries. That's another huge one.
Dead batteries.
Dead batteries. It's huge. And it can be tough, traveling to all these places and parking at hotels or campsites and trying to make sure that you might think your boat's plugged in, but there might not be that much electricity coming out and charging your boat.
That's
so you just really got to be careful checking it, going and checking back 3 hours later, make sure you at least got some charge.
There you go. Well, that's good to know. That takes us up to Tackle Time. Tackle Time sponsored by Pico Lures. They have a complete line of hard and soft baits. You can check it out there. They have a whole line of bass fishing jigs and crankbaits that a lot of guys love to use because they do catch bass, and they catch everything. So if you're fishing on Beaver Lake, of course, there's just tons of game fish. You name it, walleye, white bass, stripers, spots, smallmouth, largemouth, the list goes on. But you can check them out at picolures.com. You guys, if they wanted to find out more about sponsoring you and checking you out and seeing your socials, where would they go?
First place to check, we're on Instagram and Facebook. Our Instagram is Arkansas Fishing, all in one word. Go on there, look us up. Facebook, I think we're Arkansas Fishing. We do all of our posting on there. We try and stay pretty active, especially during the season. We'll be posting on there once or twice a week. You can always email us if you'd like, if you're interested in sponsoring. And then this year, we're also excited to launch. We're doing we're partnering up with Fishing Chaos, which is a online kind of a tournament platform, but it's almost all in one for our club. So once we're set up on there, you'll be able to go on to Fishing Chaos and type in University of Arkansas Bass Fishing.
Really?
And we'll pop up on there. We'll be having club tournaments through there, so tournaments with just our guys. And then hopefully come 1 or 2 months, we'll be doing tournaments open to the public for anyone to join. Fundraising, it'll be a fundraiser for us, but there'll be payouts, whether it's prizes or actual money. It'll be a mobile, online, length fishing tournament. So, you catch a fish, put it on a ruler, take a picture, and submit it to the app. And it's kind of a cool way to get more people involved, not just in our club, but all around the community. So look us up on there. Where else are we on, Carter? Anything else?
Nah, but we're creating some merch. It's in the works, so that'll be promoted on our socials, and we're hoping to have a fundraiser tournament here on Beaver in the spring. Information for that should be out soon on the socials. We're still working some stuff out with the Corps of Engineers and making sure we have funds available to do so.
You guys will have to come back. We'll shoot a YouTube video and take it out on my socials and give it a shout out. So maybe we can get some more people to join that. That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be great.
So before we leave, have to call the Hogs.
Let's do it.
Because you're the Razorbacks. So let's start it.
All righty. Ooh, Big Suey. Ooh, Big Suey. Ooh, Big Suey. Razorbacks.
There you have it. That's how we're going to close it out. You guys make sure you check them out, all their socials, and especially check out the tournament that they're going to have, and also go and become a sponsor of the event. It's probably pretty cool, and a sponsor of the team. So
yes, sir.
Thank you guys, Jacob, Carter, for being on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.